Chris, who's doing this to you? Who's doing this to you, Christopher? No. Who's doing this to you? What's going on, everybody? Critic and the Common Man here with another review of Wandavision up today, episode 4. Real quick, this is your spoiler warning. If you've not seen episode 4 yet, it came out a while ago, so go watch it, come back, and let us know what you guys think. You can listen to our review. Finally, Christopher, finally, we are getting the show that I need us to be getting for Wandavision.
Yes, I agree.
I don't think I'm alone in saying that this show has been really slow up until this point. I know some people, it seems like it's the cool thing to say, to love WandaVision before it was cool, before you knew what was going on. That's fine. It was not my cup of tea. This was the first episode that I was finally really invested in and into from beginning until end. We're starting to see outside the fourth wall a little bit. We know what's going on, at least to a degree. Tell me about this episode, man. What do you think? Initial reaction?
I was editing episode 3, and I made a bunch of comments, and I said things about like where the show was going. I think we both did. We were so wrong about, at least so far from what it looks like. No, it's really cool to get not just a break from the sitcom, but to get all these like loved side characters kind of thrown in together into one. It's really I don't know, it's refreshing and pushed the story forward from the first minute on. That is exactly what I kind of expect from every episode moving forward. And so I don't know. I'm very excited to see where this is going to go because it left a lot of questions still.
But now it's going to be so much more fun when we go back inside the sitcom for probably the next episode because we're going to know what's going on a little bit and we're going to kind of see the things that are happening and understand why they're happening and get to see it from both sides of the spectrum. It's finally turning into basically a show that can hold our interest here a little bit.
Agreed.
I feel like they did a great job of explaining what's going on. I'm very interested now. It's an interesting situation. They've got this city that Wanda has sort of just taken over. She's in her own little mind space, a place where she can keep herself and Vision alive and happy.
Dude, seeing
zombie Vision.
Oh, did we do a spoiler?
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, we did the spoiler.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. Was like how terrifying was that? That was.
Oh God.
Yeah, and just like, what's wrong? I was like, ugh.
Just the animated corpse of Vision with his head blown up. Yeah, very disturbing. Very disturbing. This show, if you go on Reddit, like the WandaVision Reddit or any little forum about this, people are speculating so much about every aspect of this show. It's Vision was actually looking at the camera at the end and he wants to get out, or other people are aware. There's so much speculation still about what exactly is going on with these people. So are we now to believe that the people who are like the other stars in this sitcom, all these other missing people, they're all just people that were in that town when Wanda decided to kind of create this bubble?
I'm starting to think they're hostages and that she won't let them leave because it'll break their... Like, I think she's turning into a villain, which, if I remember correctly, I think she is in the comics a villain.
So pick this up on Reddit. Get this, man. All those characters, all those missing people that they reported, they had a report and a missing person thing for everybody except her neighbor. Is it Dottie? The lady who came over and was like giving them a bunch of food and helping them like right at the beginning. Pretty sure they had a missing person report for every single person except for her. They weren't able to account for her when they had that board up. Her face was not up there, I think. You're going to have to validate that. But that could be something to watch out for. She may end up becoming quite the character in this show. Agree with what you said. It was really nice to get these kind of lovable side characters back in on this. How do you feel about kind of this split show that we have now, man, where it's like you're getting it from outside the bubble, and then you're also going to have, I'm sure, some episodes that are mostly Wanda and Vision living life?
I think we could have gotten this episode too. Had like one episode that was a sitcom and then show, the Lieutenant Trouble being thrown out at the end of episode 1, and then like, oh, the sitcom isn't, obviously the sitcom is, there's more to it, and then just do this episode 2 because now we're halfway through the season and we're just now starting to pick up the pace. So I don't know. Yep. It's about time. I know that the pacing is different, and they're kind of stretching and milking the fandom for what it is. if she is turning into a villain, I'm very curious about who they're gonna bring in to stop her, because
Yeah.
there's very
Yeah,
few
some people
people
are
who
saying they
could.
need like Doctor Strange to come in, but it's not his show, you know what I mean? And that is an interesting question that we now have. We have these Star Wars shows now with The Mandalorian where they're really not afraid to bring in big characters. We saw Boba Fett, we saw Bo-Katan
Hmm.
in The Mandalorian, we saw some big names that kind of came in and out of the show. Obviously, Luke at the end. Sorry, spoiler warning, I should have said it. I'm sure everybody's seen that by now or heard about it. So it's going to be interesting to see in WandaVision, will we get any of the other Avengers to make cameos or things at any point? Of course, they'll make jokes and reference them. That's expected. But would we? Is it possible that we might get Doctor Strange to fly in and go in and talk to her and things, or is that just out of the question?
I'm just saying that there are several shows and movies coming out. They have said that they're going to tie together into a Phase 4. I wouldn't be surprised to see Doctor Strange come in, or Loki, or
Right.
because like who better to stop somebody that's destroying reality than the God of Mischief? You know, I'm just throwing that out there. I know he's dead, but they've also said
Well, and
that
he's
this
getting his
is
own. They said he's getting his own show too. So is this gonna set him up for his own show? Also, I mean, I
that's
don't know.
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know.
say no.
We're
You know,
Well, right. We are in for a little bit of a surprise, good or bad, with the whatever the business model is going to be for Marvel moving forward into this Phase 4.
like
Phase
If
4.
Vision is coming back, then why not Loki? You know, it
Well, right. I mean,
we
that's
could get
Phase 4.
Bucky in this, and the new Captain
Good.
America, you know, coming in to save the day. Like
Good.
I don't know, and there's a lot of different possibilities here.
Yeah, who's going to be the villain? Is Wanda going to turn into the villain, or can they even do that in this show? Can Wanda turn into the villain of her own show? I mean, how does that even work?
She was a
Phase
villain in
4.
when she first showed up. Like she was on
Well,
Ultron's
that's true.
side.
Her and her brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And she's
That's
also
true.
Magneto's daughter.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Like all the strings that connect in this. She's got the propensity to be pretty evil.
Yeah.
For sure. Phase 4 is going to look very different than Phase 3. You know, the first 3 phases or whatever. The previous Avengers content that we got. Disney Plus being a driving force behind that. We now have the ability for Disney to give us these shows.
Yeah.
We've seen that they're coming out with more. We've been told they're making a Loki show. Now, where in the timeline that'll be placed, who knows? He's a favorite. You know, what's his name? The guy who plays Loki.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, yep. Tom Hiddleston is a fan favorite, so they could have him pretty much doing whatever,
Yeah.
and people would freak out about that. You know, and they can bring in things. Phase 4 will be interesting to see how they. I guess what I'm trying. This is long winded, but what I'm trying to say is it'll be interesting to see how they tie these TV shows into the main movies. Into new characters that are coming out, because as we've talked about on the podcast a little bit with Marvel, they've got a lot of new stuff coming out, as in like brand new characters. They're not just piggybacking off of the characters they already have. They're still introducing more characters into this universe from the comics.
Hell yeah. And I think that there's something to be said about the fact that the first Doctor Strange movie that comes out is called Save the Multiverse. There could be hints there as to what's happening here. You know, maybe Wanda is going to become some sort of villain and break things and start to bring people back on accident. And I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see Thanos at this point. Like, I don't know.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if we saw Thanos in this show? People would freak out. I gotta say, man, I don't see how they can keep WandaVision going for multiple seasons at this point. I'm very confused because they know what's going on. They have Wanda surrounded in this thing. The whole WandaVision theme so far has been that she's in this sitcom life, moving forward in time. So what we've talked about this last time. What do they do when they get to the end of that? What is it when she's modern? She's in a modern TV show. She can't go through time anymore. Or when they finally break her out of this little thing that she's in, I could definitely see WandaVision being a show that we only get one season of.
I agree.
And it serves a purpose of tying into the greater cinematic universe of Phase 4.
I almost would rather that than have them try and perpetuate a story that doesn't need to be continued anymore.
Yeah, I mean, so we're on, episode 4 now. We're going on to episode 5. So I'm assuming there's only going to be like 8 episodes, maybe 10.
I think
my
it's
guess
8.
would be 8 because
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we're over halfway now, or we're going to be over halfway now at this season.
Like
So I
they
definitely think they'll
released
have enough.
today. They released a mid-season trailer,
Okay.
which I don't know what the purpose of
I
it is, but
Yeah, I don't know why they do that either. I don't want to watch that. Like, just show me the show. But I could see them having enough to carry them through a season 2. I could see that. I don't know how they keep this show going for 3, 4, or 5 seasons. I don't see it turning into one of those long-running shows. The Mandalorian, I think, has more of a propensity to keep going like that because of the options they have in the story.
Yeah.
But WandaVision's going to have to tie into Phase 4, and if Wanda and or Vision are going to make appearances in these movies again, and if those characters are not relegated to only TV, they're going to have to tie in somehow. So I don't know that they keep WandaVision going.
yeah,
Maybe we only get a couple seasons of this show.
Yeah.
Maybe we only get one. I don't know.
which I'm cool with. Yeah.
I'm cool with 2. You said it well. I would rather them have a short show that's to the point and acute than trying to drag on a show that they don't actually have content for multiple seasons.
This episode was absolutely my favorite out of all of them so far.
It's the only one that I can even understand how people would like.
Yeah.
I don't even know how people really even like the first 3, and I know that's kind of harsh. I like is a little bit too harsh, but I don't even understand why people could be so into the first 3. I mean, we get nothing. But finally, it's at a pace that my Neanderthal brain appreciates a little better. It's going a little faster.
Who are your parents,
But
Ray?
I mean, what'd you say?
Who are your parents, Ray? Say it.
Say it. I am Ray.
You're nothing.
Raymundo.
You're nothing.
Say it. You come from nothing. You're nothing. But not to me.
Dude, me and you, us doing this podcast is basically like us using that force power to like interact with each other a little bit. Like we're kind of in our own little thing. Yeah, I like where this episode went. We needed it badly. Now I'm interested for episode 5. Now I'm on board. I was not into it before, and I know some people are gonna, that's because you don't care about, you only know modern shows and modern yeah, okay, I get it.
But I understand where you're
also,
coming from, saying that, like, just because they made a sitcom doesn't automatically make it great. Like, what is the sitcom delivering as far as story, as far as the main story plot line, and what is it delivering and accomplishing to that? What is the purpose of that? What is the end goal? What is the end game? Like, it just... I get what you're saying, and we shouldn't like something inherently, just because it's making an homage to shows that, came out long ago. Like,
or just because it's a little bit different than Game of Thrones or whatever shows.
Like
are
I
out
said,
right
it
now,
was clever and charming and stuff, but like, and what?
Right. Now what? And it was now what after episode 1. We're now at episode 4, and it's finally okay. Like, what has happened in the previous 3 episodes is basically a blur because it was kind of meaningless. She had kids. Like, everything that happened could have been boiled down into like a 30-minute kind of thing to get us to the point that we're at right now.
Boiled up. It is the
boiled up,
opposite
new phrase.
of an endothermic reaction. I don't know. Science.
Tenet. Start flopping around. Yeah, that's it, man. That's pretty much all I got. We're finally at where we need to be with WandaVision. Going to be interesting to see how they either get her out or get more people in. She's clearly shut herself off pretty badly, but they have ways of somewhat communicating with her. My guess, episode 5 is back to Wanda and Vision, mostly inside of the bubble. We'll probably get a little bit of both.
In
you
the
got anything
80s.
else for episode 4? In the 80s.
Yeah, you heard the rock music at the end. It's going to be the 80s, so I don't know. We're probably going to see her doing lines of coke while she tries to cope with the fact that she's a new mother.
Very typical Marvel fashion, right? We'll get hard drug use and everything. That's it, guys. Let us know what you thought of WandaVision episode 4. Let us know what you think of the shorter videos, reviews. We'll, of course, be back next week for a review of episode 5. That's it, Chris. If you got nothing else, then we are going to phase out of here. Chris, who's doing this to you? Who's doing this to you, Christopher?